Hi everyone, welcome to Homework Help Lesson 10. Let's get started. Use the fractions 1/2, 1/3, and 1/6 to write an equation that illustrates the associative property of multiplication. So the associative property tells us that the order can stay the same, but what's inside the parentheses changes. So we can write all of this as 1/2 times 1/3 times 1/6, whatever order you want, as long as the order is the same on both sides. The only difference is on the left, as an example, you can have parentheses around the first two numbers, and on the right, you can have them around the second set of numbers. For number 2, it says to use the words perpendicular and parallel to complete the following sentence. In a rectangle, the opposite sides are this and the adjacent sides are that. But we know that a rectangle, the angles are all 90 degrees. They're all right angles, hence rectangle. And so the opposite sides never actually cross each other, so they would be parallel. Where the adjacent sides, or the sides that are connected, come together to make a right angle, which would make them perpendicular. For number 3, we're being asked to find the difference when the sum of 2, 3, and 4, so sum being the answer to an addition problem, is subtracted from the product of 2, 3, and 4, where product is the result of a set of factors being multiplied. So from here, you just multiply 2, 3, 4, sum 2, 3, 4, find the difference of both. For number 4, we're being asked to find the percentage for A that is shaded. So percentage here, first we have to find a fraction of how many are shaded, which is 1, 2, 3 total squares shaded, and then there are 10 total squares in this rectangle. To turn that into a percentage, we're going to change it to an equivalent fraction with the denominator of 100. And so to find the percentage, which is going to be the numerator for this fraction, we just multiply the denominator and the numerator by the same factor, which in this instance would be 10. Now for B, it's asking to find the percent not shaded, and again, you're going to write a similar fraction, except this one's for all the non-shaded parts, and again, you're going to change it to a fraction that is out of 100. So make sure you multiply by the same factor. For number 5, we're being asked to write 3 2/3 as an improper fraction. There's a couple ways we could go about this. We could change 3 to an improper fraction with the denominator 3, which would make it 9/3 plus 2/3. And again, we got 9/3 because the fraction needs to have the same denominators, 3 and 3, but then 9 divided by 3 gives us a quotient of 3. The other way you could do this is with the algorithm that I showed you, 3 times 3, and then you take that product and add 2, and that will be your new numerator. Your denominator remains 3. For 6, A and B, we have to evaluate and use a proper comparison symbol, so greater than, less than, or equal to. For A, we're going to take 2 minus 2 first, and then divide 2 divided by 2, and then use greater than, less than, or equal to compare the results. For B, we take 1/2 plus 1/2, simplify it, and then 1/2 times 1/2, also simplify it, and then we use the proper comparison symbols. For 7, we're being asked to identify the mixed number that is representing M, that M represents on this number line. So we see that it is between 9 and 10, so we know that the whole number is going to be 9. Now for the fraction, we have to count how many spaces are in between to get to the next number. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the numerator will be how many spaces it takes you to get to the letter M, or the point M there. For number 8, we're being asked to draw circles to represent 1 3/5 is equivalent to 8/5.
Bobby, can you open that?
So now,
we are doing.
We will draw one circle, and then another circle that is 3/5 full. So we have to split up into 5 equivalent parts. Again, we're going to pretend that these are equivalent. The other way you could do this is by drawing a circle with 8/5. This circle should also have 5 equivalent parts to it.
See, Poppy, open it again.
For number 9, we're being asked to find all the single-digit divisors or factors of 420. We use our divisibility rules here. Right off the bat, I can tell you 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 can be divided by 3, so 420 can be divided by 3, so that's 1. We know 1 is also a factor. It ends in an even number, so we know 2 is also a factor. And then it's up to you to check the rules for the other remaining single-digit factors, which are all the numbers between 1 and 9. For number 10, we're being asked to find the value of x. I use the commutative property to change the order. And so it's x plus 12,500 equals 36,275. we have to subtract from both sides because we have to use the inverse operation of addition, which is subtraction. And we're going to subtract 12,500 from both sides to get our value of x. For number 11, we're being asked to find the value of y. 18 multiplied by y equals 396. Since we're multiplying, we have to use our inverse operation, which is division, and we're going to divide both sides by the factor of 18. That's going to remove the 18 from the y, and then 396 divided by 18 will be the value of y. For 12, we're being asked to find the value of the subtrahend z. 77,000 minus z equals 39,400. We use our algorithm or trick where we just swap the minuend or the subtrahend and the difference. And so it'll be 77,000 minus 39,400 to find the value of z. For number 13, we're being asked to find the value of a. A divided by 8 equals $1.25. Since this isn't set up in a fraction, that means we are dividing them. And so we have to use the inverse of division, which is multiplication.
I know.
And then we multiply both of these values and find our product. For 14, it is b minus $16.25 equals $8.75. To find the difference, we have to find the value of b, we have to use the inverse of subtraction, which is addition. And so we're going to add 1625 to both sides to find the value of b. For 15, we have c plus $37.50 equals $75. We are again using our inverse operations. The inverse of addition is subtraction, and we're going to subtract $37.50 from both sides. Because we have decimals, we have to make sure that our decimals and our place values are all lining up, and that even in our answer, the decimal place is still lined up with the other ones. 16, we have 1/2, 3/8, 3/4, 1/16. We're being asked to place these in order from least to greatest. The easiest way to go about this would be to change them all to have the, actually there's an easier way to do this, and it's going to be with the 1/2. The 1/2 can be the dividing line. So any number that's less than half will go on the left, and any number that's more than half will go on the right. 3/8 and 1/16 are both less than half, so they have to go on the right. However, 3/8 is pretty close to being half, where 1/16 is nowhere near it. And so on the right, you put everything that's bigger than 1/2. 3/4 is the only number that is bigger than 1/2, so it goes on the right. For number 17, we're being asked to find the product of 5/2 and 5/4. All it requires is simple multiplication. Make sure we're multiplying straight across. You can leave your answer as an improper fraction or change it to a mixed number if it can be a mixed number. For number 18, 5/8 minus 5/8. Again, the operation is done only with the numerators. 5 minus 5 to find the numerator, and then simplify if you can. For number 19, we're being asked to add. They already have the same denominator, so it's just 11 plus 18, which is 19. Or 29, sorry. And again, the denominator stays the same. Change to an improper fraction, mixed number if you would like. For number 20, the first thing we have to do is we have to find the difference of 680 and 59. Once we do that, we can subtract it from 2,000 to find our total difference. For 21, we're being asked to find the percentage of 100% divided by 9. We will use long division to find that value. And remember that if we have a remainder, we have to turn that into a mixed number, where it's the whole number, the remainder, over the divisor. For 22, we have 1574, which is in decimals, plus 57 cents, which we're going to write as a decimal as well, 0.57, and then 89 cents, which we're also going to write as 0.89. Since our decimals are all lined up, we can just perform the addition and find our sum. For 23, 800 times 300, we can use our knowledge of numbers that end in 0 to just multiply the first 2 digits in each number and then add the number of zeros at the end. For 24, we have to add the whole numbers first. 2 plus 2 is 4. Then the fractions, 2/3 plus 2/3 is 4/3. Again, just adding the numerators, keeping the denominator the same. And then from here, we can change 4/3 to a mixed number and then add it to 4. For 25, we're just multiplying straight across. 2 times 2 times 2. And then for the denominator, we're also multiplying straight across 3 times 3 times 3. Describe each figure as a line, rate, or segment, then use a symbol and letters to name each figure. This only has one endpoint, which makes it a ray. And since it has one endpoint, we do not go in alphabetical order. It should be M to C with the ray symbol over it. For B, we have PM. That's a line. The order doesn't matter, but you have to make sure you put a line over the 2 letters. And then FH is a segment, but since it has the 2 endpoints, again, the order doesn't matter as long as you only have the segment line over FH. For 27, we're being asked to find how many 5 9s are in 1. It's just a reciprocal. Remember, if reciprocal is just a fraction flipped upside down. For 28, we're being asked to find the next three numbers in the sequence: 32, 16, 8, 4, 2. It seems like we're dividing by half every time, or dividing by 2. So just keep dividing by 2, and keep in mind, so the next one will be 1. And then once you have 1, everything else is going to be a fraction that's after it. And then it looks like now the denominator will double, which is the equivalent to dividing by 2. Which of the numbers is not an integer? An integer is defined as a whole number that can be positive or negative. So only one of these is not a whole number. That would be your non-integer. For 30, if a minus b equals 5, then what does the b minus a equal? So if you were to invert the order, for example, 10 minus 5 equals 5, the reverse of it would be 5 minus 10. So the answer is going to be the same. The only difference now is that since the subtrahend is bigger, your answer should be negative. If w divided by x equals 3, then what does xw equal? That's just going to be the reciprocal of your first quotient, because the w matches up with the 3, the x with 1. So you just find the reciprocal, which also leads you to see how are they related? They are reciprocals. All right, so having said that, that is your homework help for today. For your extra credit, I want you to name so far your favorite thing about coming back to school. And I know we've been virtual, so I know it's a little different, but your favorite thing about school so far right now, in the virtual environment. Not what you miss the most, not what you wish would be back. Your favorite virtual school thing. Your favorite aspect of virtual distance online learning. All right, so that is your extra credit, and that is your homework help. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.